Greetings, viewers. We have a fairly new pen here. This is a budget model vacuum filler pen from PenBBS. This is the model 268. So this is a $30 vacuum filler from PenBBS. Really, really nice pen for $30. Not a particularly huge pen. Here it is compared to a Lamy Safari and a Pilot Metropolitan. So you can see it's a tiny bit bigger than these pens. And here it is compared to the PenBBS 456, which was a vac filler that PenBBS came out with last year. And it's a tiny bit smaller and a slightly different design than that pen, but this pen is quite a bit more money. So this is a sort of budget model vac filler from PenBBS. Not a particularly heavy pen, weighs 25 grams. Nice clip, again, different design clip than the 456 and some other PenBBS pens, but a nice sort of functional clip that's got some spring to it. It says along the cap band, PenBBS has a couple little design elements and 268. This is the clear demonstrator model. It does come in a few other finishes as well. Opens quite easily, 3/4 of a turn to open. And I personally think it's okay to use unposted. It's just about long enough for that, but I do like to post, and I am a poster. Now, one thing that is interesting about this pen is it only posts so-so. You really have to work it on here to post it, and I really would be careful about pushing this too hard. I could easily see this plastic cracking. So as terms of posting goes, I think this pen is sort of not successful when it comes to being a pen that posts well. So if you are a die-hard poster that needs a pen that really has a nice solid posting, maybe this is not the best pen for you. But it is kind of long enough to post. Again, I'm a big fan of posting. Does have a fairly nice, decent sized section with a little lip here, which is nice. Has a number 5 size nib. Says PenBBS. Has a little scroll work. It says since 2005. Has an F for fine, and then says China. But a nice looking typical PenBBS nib. Has a typical PenBBS feed for this type of nib with the very, very delicate fins. So if you're going to pull this nib and feed, again, be careful, as these fins are very thin and very delicate. Typical vac filler, you unscrew the knob on the back, you're going to pull it out, you're going to then immerse it in the ink, push it in. It's going to build up vacuum pressure. When it gets to the end, the vacuum pressure will be released and ink will rush into the pen. We're going to demonstrate this filling mechanism as well as show you a methodology for getting as complete a fill as possible with this pen, since this is a nice, clear demonstrator which should illustrate that principle quite well. There is a flat side on these threads here, which should, if you have a plastic gripping tool, I would not use a metal gripping tool on this, you should be able to unscrew and remove it. I have done that identical procedure on this 456 and it works quite well, which has a very similar mechanism. This looks quite well made and quite nice, again, for a $30 vac filling pen. You don't see too many vac fillers in this very low end of the budget range, so sort of pleased to see that. Let's try that out right about now. We're going to fill it with a PenBBS ink. We're going to use PenBBS ink number 344, which is PenBBS Mulberry colored ink. So let's give that a shot and see how that works from a fill perspective. Okay, so this filling procedure that I'm going to show you is pretty much applicable to almost any vacuum filled pen. So first thing you're going to do is you're obviously going to take off the cap. Then you're going to unscrew this cap here and extend the vacuum filling mechanism before you dunk the pen in the ink. This isn't like a draw filler where you're drawing ink up into the pen. The pen is going to fill at the end of the vacuum downstroke. So we're going to immerse our pen in the ink, and then we're going to do one single push down. So it's going to be building up vacuum pressure until we get to the end of the stroke, in which case the vacuum pressure is going to be released and the ink will draw up into the pen. So let's take a look at how much ink we got. Okay, that's about a halfway full. That's still quite a bit of ink. Now, if that's enough ink for you, you can simply screw this cap in and stop here. But I'm going to show you a procedure to be able to get more ink in your pen. I'm going to put the ink on top of a paper towel here because we may have some drips here when we do this. So what you're going to do is hold it nib upright. You're going to pull the vacuum mechanism down. You're then going to, tilting it to the side so you can see it, but ideally you want to do this with it completely vertically. You're going to be pushing the vacuum mechanism back up until you get the column of air mostly expelled from the pen. So notice we've got most of the air out, most of the ink most of the part that's remaining is filled with ink. We want to then hold the piston, the vacuum mechanism, in this exact position. Don't move it. Keep it in this position. We're now going to put it back in the ink bottle, and then we're going to push it down the rest of the way. Now, if you notice, we pretty much have a 100% fill. That is a mechanism, and then we're going to now screw this back down. So this is a procedure that we pretty much can apply to virtually any vacuum-filled pen. Now, you may ask, what if I have a vacuum-filled pen that's not a demonstrator? I have a Visconti Homo sapiens, for example, or something like that, that I can't see when I'm pushing it back up when the air's all been expelled. What you want to do in that case is, as you're pushing the pistons, the vacuum mechanism slowly back up, you want to observe the feed, and when you just start to see the first inklings of ink ooze through there, you know to stop. You know you've expelled all the air out, and then do the procedure exactly as I described. So here we have pretty much a 100% fill, and like I said, this will pretty much work on any vacuum-filled pen that you have, because they all pretty much work according to the exact same principles. So that is pretty much how we get a nice fill on this pen. But as we always say, pens were meant to write. You may ask, how does this pen write? We're going to find that out right now. Okay, folks, what we're writing with here is a PenBBS model 268, and this is a vac filler, and this has a fine steel nib, and this writes pretty well. Couple things I will say: it's a bit too fine. At least for my taste. I prefer something a tiny bit broader. It's a tiny bit dry. Not oppressively so, but I would prefer a slightly wetter nib. But it is smooth. So I do like it quite a bit based on the smoothness. And again, I would prefer, for my own personal taste, a pen that posted better, or really posts much at all. This is, I mean, it kind of stays on there, but you guys got to kind of have to just rest it on there and be careful not to crack the cap material when you do that. But I would prefer a pen that posts better than this. But it is, like I said, it is a nice writing pen. A little bit on the dry side. Again, I think this is seems to be a pretty dry ink as well. But again, nice writing pen and a $30 vac filler. My goodness, you cannot beat the price on this if you want to go for a vac filler. This is about as budget as you're going to get. And as you see, the vacuum filling mechanism absolutely worked spectacularly. This is literally I got pretty much 100% fill first time out the gate. Worked great. So A+ on the vac filling mechanism, which of course is the whole point of you having a vac filler, so you can do stuff like that. So again, works really, really well. Oh, you know what? I just realized something. I'm saying it's dry, but I do have this closed. Let's open this up and see if that makes a difference. I don't even know if there's a shutoff valve at the end of this vac mechanism, but let's see, does that make it any wetter at all? Not appreciably so. Oh wait, maybe. Yeah, a bit wetter. So I guess maybe the key thing is keep the valve open when you're writing to get a little bit wetter flow. But like I said, again, nice pen, and you cannot beat it for the price. Let's talk about this ink for a minute. This is a PenBBS ink, so this is PenBBS, and this ink is number 344, and this is Mulberry. So this is what the label looks like. Very pretty label on this PenBBS ink. It is mostly in Chinese, but it does say pen number 344, fountain pen ink made by PenBBS.com, 60 milliliters. So this is one of those nice PenBBS inks, and I like it quite a bit. This is kind of an odd color. I mean, this is like this brownish purple. And you do get a little bit of color variation and shading. Even on this fine nib, I suspect it would do better on the color variation and shading with a broader nib. But this actually is an interesting color. I don't have any other color that I'd say is quite like this. It's sort of like a brownish purple, which is really just an odd and interesting combination. So that's it on this Rhodia paper. Let's see how it looks on Tomoe River paper. Okay, so as we said before, this is PenBBS number 344, and this is Mulberry. And it definitely looks interesting. And like I said, this might be one of the most unique colors that I have. I wouldn't say I have anything that's quite like this. It's, like I said, it's a brownish purple, and that is just not a combination that I see very often, but it writes really nicely. I kind of like the color. I'll have to see how it grows on me. As you can probably tell, this is the first pen that I've inked up with this color, but I'll have to see how it goes. It does appear to be drying pretty nicely on this Tomoe River paper, and as we know, Tomoe River paper can sometimes take quite a bit of time to dry. You're getting a bit of color variation with that, which is kind of nice, and I do like it. I do like it quite a bit. So I think this is definitely a ink I'm gonna give it a shot and try it out for a while and see how I like it. But from what I'm seeing here, I definitely do like it. These PenBBS inks, check eBay, and every once in a while you can get a good deal on them. Sometimes they can be expensive. Sometimes they come out and you can get like $12-13 a bottle and stuff like that, but sometimes they run a lot more, and they have an awful lot of different ones, so there's quite a big selection of the PenBBS inks, so give it a shot. I think that will just about do it for this video. I certainly hope you enjoyed it. I know I did. Please subscribe. Please leave a comment, and please give us some thumbs up. Oh, and when you do subscribe, as I'm sure you're going to, please click the little alarm icon so you'll be notified whenever I post a new video, because you're definitely going to want to do that. And anyway, until next time, have a great day. Bye-bye.